A steel fork pierced Chloe's body, but she didn't dare make a sound. Below her, a twisted butcher was lurking, holding a sharp steel fork, his gaze fixed on her like a predator. If the butcher discovered she was still alive, there would be no escaping his deadly intentions. In that critical moment, Chloe gritted her teeth against the pain, digging her fingers into the wound. Stirring inside it over and over, blood streamed down her fingers. Filling the ventilation duct until it overflowed, dripping out of the opening and onto the butcher below. Seeing the blood pour out in such volume, and hearing no unusual sounds from inside, the butcher assumed Chloe had stopped breathing. Satisfied, he finally carried another girl out of the room. Chloe, witnessing this, was terrified. Chloe never imagined that after just a night's sleep in the hotel, she would wake to find her hands and feet bound. And the room full of other girls in the same situation. The girl in front of her seemed not to be dead, as tears had just streaked her face. She had been pretending to be dead. The two of them exchanged fearful glances, just as despair was about to overwhelm them. A pair of large feet entered through the doorway. In that moment of crisis, Chloe immediately turned to feign unconsciousness. The girl beside her wasn't so lucky, being dragged by the butcher into another room. Painful screams soon echoed from the house. Chloe was terrified, trembling on the floor. Just as despair seemed to take over, a hand reached out. Startled, Chloe realized it was her best friend, Emma. Emma signaled for her to stay silent, but then Emma sensed something was wrong. The sudden silence behind the door was alarming. Quickly, Emma hid under the bed, signaling Chloe to continue feigning unconsciousness. Sure enough, not long after, the butcher emerged dragging a bloodied girl. Seizing the brief opportunity, Emma quickly untied Chloe. The two moved to the door, hoping to escape, only to find it had already been double-locked by the butcher. Emma peered through the peephole, only to find the butcher right behind the door. Hearing Emma's scream, Chloe trembled in terror, unable to make a single sound. Even so, she couldn't avoid the butcher's grasp entirely. She lay still on the floor, pretending to have fainted. When the butcher left, she opened her eyes, seeing the house filled with the bodies of girls, each one more horrifying than the last. All she wanted now was to get out as fast as possible, but every exit was boarded up by the butcher. Chloe felt herself starting to break down. She entered the bathroom to see if there was any escape route, only to witness a chilling sight: blood stains everywhere. Before she could recover from the shock, strange sounds came from outside. Nervously, she stepped out and saw, among the pile of bodies, a girl still alive. The girl became excited upon seeing Chloe, but Chloe quickly covered her mouth, signaling her to stay silent, for the butcher was still outside. Chloe then pushed a cabinet to barricade the door, and helped the girl free her restraints. Before they could catch their breath, the door shook, signaling the butcher's return.
Oh my God!
With no time to hesitate, Chloe dragged another cabinet to reinforce the door. Even so, the door was still not secure. The butcher's entry was only a matter of time, and both of their lives were in imminent danger. Fortunately, the ceiling vent could be opened. Chloe quickly climbed up, but the girl behind her could only watch, her legs injured and the butcher still hammering on the door.
pull you up.
Just as the girl was about to climb up, the butcher grabbed her, and soon she lost her life under his grip. Chloe above had no idea what had happened, listening carefully from the vent. The next second, Chloe quickly covered her mouth, biting back the excruciating pain, staying silent, but the butcher wasn't about to let her go. His fork pierced Chloe's shoulder, sending waves of stabbing pain through her. Still, he kept watch below. To fake death and trick the butcher, Chloe shoved her fingers into the wound. Soon, a drop of blood fell onto the butcher's mask. Seeing this, he assumed Chloe was dead and carried another girl's body out of the room. Once the butcher was gone, Chloe breathed a sigh of relief. She carefully climbed out of the vent, but lost her footing and fell, dragging her injured body to the door. She found it still locked. Frustrated, she returned to think of another plan. Then she noticed a ceiling beam above and looked back at the door. Cleverly, she came up with a plan to take down the butcher. She opened a nearby cabinet full of bodies, taking many white cloth strips from them, tying them together to make a long rope. Next, she moved a small cabinet under the bed, propped up the bed, and tied the rope to it. Finally, she secured the rope to the ceiling beam. Chloe hung from the rope to test its strength, and once satisfied, used herself as bait. Chloe took the opportunity to loop the rope around the butcher's neck. The force of the swing immediately choked him, and he struggled violently, not realizing the more he fought, the tighter the rope became. Yet the butcher's strength was formidable. He inched closer to Chloe, managing to lift the bed with his own power. Sensing the danger, Chloe quickly threw a body onto the bed to increase its weight. To her relief, it worked. The butcher was pushed back, restrained. Cautiously, Chloe approached the butcher, checking that he was truly lifeless before letting out a breath. Now all she wanted was to leave this nightmare place. She opened the door, finally seeing the daylight again, escaping alive from the butcher's grasp.